Hi, welcome to Blacticulate, a podcast series featuring UK young black professionals, where we find out how they do what they do, so you can too. Or not. After all, it is your life. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Blacticulate. Black stories, positive actions. You know, I speak to amazing people, like phenomenal people who are doing amazing things, and today's no different. Actually, it's never any different whenever you listen to Blacticulate. In front of me, I have Abiola, and she is known as Afrokanist, right? I mean, you said that literally. You went to the BAFTAs and people were like, isn't that Afrokanist? Mm-hmm. So you're now officially Miss Afrokanist, and she does a magazine online for now, but you are looking to launch into print, potentially 2016 February. So watch this
early next year.
Early next year. So we're gonna get you back on and just figure out how that's going.
Yeah.
I almost want to start off with what Afrokanist is about, and then you tell me what's about, and then hopefully we'll just take it on from there.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Afrokanist magazine is about showcasing African culture, celebrating African culture, and telling the story of African youth, either in African countries or in the diaspora. So what we do literally is your story matters, and we create an archive for African youth.
So it's anybody who has a story to tell.
Basically. Regardless.
Okay, so can you give me examples of some stories that have been, I guess, quite the opposite, but yet also paints a picture of, like, the content that we can expect?
Okay, so, I mean, when we started Afrokanist magazine, we had a message on Facebook from this young guy from Nigeria, and he spoke about not having enough money to fund his fees to, go to school, and he said he just wants to be an artist, like Wizkid. However, he doesn't have the money to be featured on any media platform, and he was wondering if it could be featured on Afrokanist magazine.
Amazing.
And we were more than happy to have that.
How long had you already been established for someone to come to you to say, can I be in your media platform?
It was 3 months going into, just posting pictures on Afrikanist Facebook page.
Oh, okay, pictures.
Yeah, just pictures and, celebrating more of arts and culture, and he just came across it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you didn't promote, you didn't do any marketing, you just...
Not at the time,
decided. Okay.
So we started pretty local.
Yeah, so who's we? Let's talk about this. Yeah.
Okay, so I started Afrokanist magazine in my third year of uni while working on my dissertation. And I spoke with a young lady in Nigeria, Abuja, who also wanted to start something similar to Afrokanist magazine. However, we decided that there's more strength in unity, so why not work together? So at the moment, it's myself and this young lady.
Amazing. You can give her a shout out. What's her name?
Yeah. Okay. So shout out to Medina Mishanu.
Hey, Medina. Okay, so why did it come about? Because I understand what you are doing, and I like Blacticulate. I do understand the value, but I really want to know from your perspective.
Why?
Yeah. What is the crux? Was there anything that you're just like...
Okay, so it's a long story.
Please, we've got time.
Started my second year of uni when I started the Pan-African Society. So the first Pan-African Society at Goldsmith University. And the concept was to educate African and black youths about African politics and African economy and culture. So we had a few events, such as having Samia Nkrumah, the daughter of the first president of Ghana. We had people from Ogoni. That's Ogoni area in Nigeria, and they were dealing with Shell and the corruption and pollution in that region. And
what, they were in your uni, or you brought them in?
I brought them from Nigeria.
Oh,
so
wow.
I my student loan, I just halved it and put him there.
Really?
Yes. And also we had Mr. Irvington, who was an ex-member of the Black Panther. He came to the university and he spoke about the importance of young people going into politics, specifically black people. So going to my third year of uni, someone approached me on my way to the library, and they told me that they heard that Goldsmith was planning on scrapping African studies in exchange for Chinese studies.
Oh, God.
So you have the concept, the angry black woman, and I feel like you do have the right to be angry.
Yes.
So I got angry, and I thought, you know what, you cannot dismiss us from reality, and it's, you know, so for me, I started by talking to students and black students and asking them, how do you feel about what's going on? And from there on, I thought, you know what, we do have a voice and we need a platform to actually project that voice to the world. So I started by blogging and just sharing pictures online. And I came across a few mentors, and they told me, why don't you turn this into an actual business? Turn it into Afrokanist magazine. Bring African...
Oh, they gave you the name?
No. Okay. The name came from...
Okay, we'll get to the name, sorry.
Okay, so they told me, you know, we need to find a way to bring African culture into the global market and have a representation of Africa in the global market. So... started from there.
That's interesting. So I always now, because this is predominantly the crux of Blacticulate, I'm always trying to get toolkits and like actionable sort of, not just insights, but references and resources. So how did you get these established names to come to Goldsmith? I know you say that half your student loan, but what was that conversation like? I mean, do you email them? How do you...
I think for me, I'm quite, I love being around people, specifically black people. So I tend to go to events. I literally look for black events happening in the UK, and I talk to the event organizers, and from there on, I just take contacts and build up my network.
Amazing.
So
how do you find these events?
Facebook, Twitter, online, go to African restaurants and talk to them. Literally just talk to your people. And for me, I kept the network, and they would remember me, and, you know, they would email me or give me a phone call. Would you like to take part in this? Would you like to do that? So I got the information from there and the support.
Amazing. And you just started building that up.
Basically.
So I'm just almost still curious though. So when you go on Facebook, what do you like type? Do you just go black event in London? Or I hope I'm not being dismissive in that.
Yeah.
But I'm almost so when my listeners are listening, they're like, okay, I didn't know I could actually type in those words and results will come through.
Okay, so what you could do is, for example, I typed in SOAS University and looked at the societies they had. So look for the African and black societies at universities, and from there on, just add and follow, and you will be exposed to events.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so let's talk more about Afrokanist, and particularly the run-up, because we've really got a month left, haven't we, if we're dating this before 2016 comes up. So what's the struggles at the moment in terms of to launch and how, so I guess the first question is, how's it going?
Yeah.
And what are the struggles?
So do you mean personal and professional struggles, or just...
let's do that. You brought the personal into it. Let's go.
Okay. Let's start with professional struggles. Okay, my background is politics and economy, as well as psychology. So when it comes to business, I am not an expert. However, I have taken time out to do research and just educate myself and talk to people. But I would say the challenge is, so far, is funding.
Okay.
Because we do have to pay for the people that will be publishing the magazine, and paying for the editors as well. And it's just literally financial freedom. And I think that's the problem with most startups. It's mostly funding. Personal struggle would be, it's exciting to start your own business, right? However, no one tells you about the personal struggle. Literally, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Like, you see the box, come out of it, stay away from it. You have to, as a constant reevaluating who you are as a person and what you want, and staying focused on your purpose. Staying focused on your purpose is very important, not to lose sight of your purpose. So I would say the personal struggle is more of a challenge in comparison to the professional struggle.
Yeah. Okay, so let's bring them. I'm going to tackle both. So from a professional context, you're talking about financing. So how are you financing, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, so we tend to, we are looking, people do sponsor through advertisement. So we're looking into advertising. And we've spoken to a few organizations and business, and some of them have agreed to sponsor. And also, you have to make use of what you have at the moment. So we do go to events and we talk to people about the upcoming magazine, and we do ask people to donate towards what we're doing. So at the moment, that's how we're getting money.
Yeah, I understand the traditional model of advertising and sponsorship for content. But you don't have a magazine out yet, but they're advertising and sponsoring content online
and blogging about these organizations. So
you speak about their organizations to your audience, and
basically,
so it's advertorials in that sense, like sponsored content. Okay, that's amazing. And then you said from a personal perspective, like how you're overcoming those challenges that you're facing.
Right. For me, it's important as an entrepreneur, specifically a woman. I feel like it's extremely important to have a mentor.
A mentor?
Yeah. So a male and a female. I have a male and a female mentor.
Really?
And I tend to read books that, will help my personal development. So it's also important to go out and talk to older women and that. I went to an event last week, Picture Africa.
Right.
And after the event, I made sure I spoke with at least 3 women in business, just to, ask them personal questions. How did you do this? How did you do that? How did you overcome this and that?
Yeah.
And then reevaluate your life and see, okay, am I going the direction I want to? Yeah.
Okay, well, that's sound advice. I think it's fair to say, even just speaking to you, and I think listeners, you can agree with me, you're very confident. Has that always been the case?
No.
Okay, so.
I think confidence comes in time as you grow older, and for me, it was more of when I got really angry about the situation of Black and African people. I felt like I had to do something, and it was important for me to break away from anything that would pull me back from achieving that goal. So it's almost like fake it till you make it, which is what I did.
And you continuously doing that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, before we return to the episode, I just wanted to say I appreciate you listening. And if you'd like to get involved, then please visit www.blacticulate.com for more information. Now let's get back to the episode.
Okay, so I actually want to almost just come back into some stories, right? Because you've been featured, well, I say featured, you've actually sat on certain panelists and you was invited to talk and represent Africa, particularly a Black African lady, and certain media outlets. And there's one story in particular I thought was quite interesting when you went to, I believe it was Ben TV.
Ben TV.
Yeah. Do you want to tell my listeners what happened?
So I had a phone call from a friend of mine who said, do you want to go on Ben TV? Like, come on Ben TV. I was like, cool, why not?
Okay, so this friend works with Ben TV?
No. He heard about this show and invited me, and I met the person in charge. And so there were a few people, such as myself, Ade Beauty, and this woman called Oyinbo. I still can't remember, and all I remember is the Oyinbo part. Yeah. And I thought, okay,
Oyinbo, by the way, is Yoruba for white.
Yeah.
And just listeners, in case you wonder, huh?
For me, that isn't an issue. You like the name, you appreciate the culture, fair enough. So we were talking about African culture. And, just a celebration of African culture and my experience as an African who was born in Nigeria and grew up in the UK, as well as her experience as, a white person moving to Nigeria. However, she kept on, she would respond in Pidgin English, and everything she would say was quite comical. It's quite disrespectful. And the host, the guy in charge, was, I wouldn't want to say his name, but for me, it felt like she was placed on a higher pedestal for being a white woman who can speak Pidgin English. And he said to me at a point, a white woman is sitting next to you and she's speaking Pidgin English quite well. Isn't it a bit of a disgrace that you can't speak Pidgin English? So, I was shocked, and I shouldn't be, because we have that inferior complex within the African community. But for me, my response was, Pidgin English is a street language. I was brought up as a Yoruba Fulani woman. I do speak Fula a bit, and I do speak Yoruba. And that is my that is my language, that's my heritage. Pidgin English came after colonialism and slavery. So for me, it's not a necessity. My language is more important. Yeah.
Yeah. But you put him in his place, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to.
But you asked her a question, I recall you saying, which was more about, does she appreciate the culture, or is she doing this for...
Yeah.
What was the question?
So I asked her, you obviously, you're an English woman, moved to Nigeria, speaking Pidgin English. Is it a thing that you appreciate the culture, or why are you doing this? And her response was weak. It was more of, my sister, hey, my sister. And I'm like, answer the question, So to me, it seems more of you could say fetish to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
But, that actually brings an interesting question, though, do you know what I mean? As whether race and culture can be fetishized. And I guess that's another conversation. Another conversation.
Yeah, we would be here for a long time.
Entirely. Okay, so Abby, first and foremost, again, brilliant to have you here finally and get you on record. And looking forward to Afrokanist, for sure, particularly the launch print. Are there any things that you would advise those who are starting out, like yourself, particularly looking to become a publication, be it online and or print, to consider? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the context of, Africa, culture. Just like any advice you would give yourself, or wish you knew that was useful when you were starting out.
I would say do your homework and know your audience. You have to know your audience. Whatever you're going into, you have to know your target audience and know what they want. Yeah.
But I'm going to obviously further that. But knowing your target audience and what they want, does that not take away from what it is you want to put out in the world? Or, because I'm almost questioning the fact that I know what I want to do, and therefore people who know what I want to do either love it or don't. If they love it, happy days, you're my peoples. If they don't love it, then you're not my people. But, if you're looking at it from the reverse and going, actually, what do they want, and catering to that, then you've never been true to yourself. I don't know.
I think for me, the reason why I said that was when I started Afrokanist magazine, and I was thinking, oh crap, I need to make money. How do I do this? So I have few organizations, specifically like African organizations. They would invite me to their events, and they would want Afrokanist magazine to cover it. Now, they were much more older, when I say events, like let's say a 60-year-old woman is having a birthday party and they just want me to write that in Afrikanist.
Oh, really?
And I needed the money, but that's not my audience. My audience wouldn't buy into that. So it was more of a struggle. Do I say no, or do I do it? What do I do?
What did you do?
I made a sacrifice and said no. Because money will always come when you chase the dream, for me.
Agreed.
Yeah. So it's just being mindful and vigilant. Do not allow certain things to drift you away from the people you're trying to target. Yeah.
So it's critical to know your audience. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd give us? How to put you on the spot here.
For me, it's more of a personal development that is the most important, because people tell you, go into entrepreneurship, it's fantastic, it's financial freedom and whatnot, but they do not tell you that you will need to focus on yourself as an individual. You have to, you have the saying, whatever comes from the internal, it kind of manifests. So, you literally have to look after yourself your health, your well-being, and you always have to look for more knowledge. So personal growth is important, which I'm still doing.
Which, I mean, and that's predominantly why I've got you on here, because, you know, you are en route, and without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to definitely get you back as well to just see how much bigger you've become, because you inevitably will be. I wanted to also touch upon you saying about finding mentors, particularly from a male and female perspective. How do you find a mentor?
I would say I was quite lucky, but then again, people say you create your luck.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm a social person. I tend to talk to a lot of people. So, my female mentor, actually, I was in the library. She was on the phone. And she was... Give
her a shout out. These are amazing people.
Okay, so really shout out to... I call her Auntie because that's the respectful way. Auntie Lola, who is in Nigeria at the moment, actually doing an amazing thing for the youth in Nigeria. She's starting almost like a youth group in different areas of streets in Nigeria, in Lagos. I can't reveal that yet.
Oh, we can't?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to put it in the show notes and stuff, but okay.
So for me, she was on the phone, she was speaking Yoruba, and I was like, this woman doesn't look like a Yoruba woman. So she got off the phone, and I was like, you were speaking Yoruba. I didn't think you were a Yoruba woman. She looked at me, and she laughed. She's like, you know, where did you think I was from? It's like, I thought you were Jamaican, to be honest, and this is terrible, but I did. And she started laughing, and we started talking, and I told her about Afrokanist magazine, and, you know, and we just started talking from then. She's like, I'm actually a mentor, and I could help you with, you know, certain things, because I understand what it is to start a business. And also we have, I have Auntie Ade Beauty, who runs the True African Heritage Taha Media, which you can find on Facebook or Instagram, anywhere really. And she found me on Facebook.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, and she sent me a message and she said, would you like to work for Taha Media? And I said, well, it depends, because I'm trying to work on my own thing. And she told me basically all you have to do is social media coordinator and coordinating. And we started talking from then, and she introduced me to a few other people. But I mean, for me, she would call me literally almost every day. And so how, you know, is there something you'd like to talk about? How's your health? You know, what's happening in your life? Let's talk about these things. And the male mentor for me, who I also found on Facebook, I was 17 at Cornell College, and his name is Ayo Gunrekun. And he sent me a message on Facebook, and he started talking to me. And you do have people, they do that on Facebook. And I was like, you know, you have to be careful of strangers. People do say that, but also do not, you know, have faith in humanity. Yeah. So he sent me a message, and I stopped talking to him a year after, because I was like, who's this guy? You know, I don't want anything to do with him. Then I started Goldsmith University, and I bumped into him in the library. No. And we started talking from there, and he started mentoring me. He runs his own business. So what it does is it creates website and applications for people. Amazing. And he's also a mentor.
Okay. Is that something you'd look to do yourself? Become a mentor? Do you mentor? Sorry, maybe you do already. I don't know.
I am looking into it. I mean, it wasn't my intention to start off with, but I do share positive message on my social media, my personal social media. And I have a few ladies, you know, inbox me going, Abby, this is amazing. I follow everything you do. Could you continue to share more? Or how did you do this? I'm going through that. Could you help me with this? And I'm more like an agony aunt now, and it wasn't my intention.
It's funny how the path and roads lead to just things that we tend to be quite good at without actually, you know, knowingly known so, which is interesting. So, okay, well, I feel we are definitely going to get you back on. It's 100%. This is only just the beginning of our conversation. But Abiola, Miss Afrokanist, it's been an absolute pleasure. And thanks for just sharing some gems with us, and we look forward to the progress.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. So how can my audience find you? How can they get in touch? How can they drop you a Facebook message and want to be your mentor?
Okay, so you can follow us on Instagram, Afrokanist Magazine, as well as Facebook, and drop us a message, or send us a message on afrikanist@yahoo.co.uk, or go on afrikanist.wordpress.com.
Just to confirm, how are we spelling Afrokanist?
So that would be Afrokanist.
Brilliant. That's Afrokanist magazine.
Afrokanist magazine.
Well, once again, thanks very much.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Very sociable. Hey guys, thanks very much for listening to this vodcast. I believe that's what it's called now, video and podcast. Or is it vidcast? Video podcast? Either way, we really appreciate you listening. And if you have any feedback whatsoever, anything good, anything that can make us better, please do leave it in the comment section below. Also, you can get all the info, all the links, all the resources we speak about in the description below. And last but not least, if you are someone who can teach us how you do what it is you do, because Blacticulate is all about empowering and upskilling the community, then please get in touch too. Thanks guys, you're the best, and stay tuned for another episode.